Hey everybody, it's Zombie from Pop Spectrum, and I love board games. Not that one. But there is a game I did love playing as a kid, and it was based off a movie I watched a lot as a kid. It never really matched up to the movie, but I love the game version of Jumanji. And believe it or not, but they made a pseudo-sequel to it. No! Hold up. It's only a pseudo-sequel, not a full one. It's not retroactively ruining the first one. Probably. Maybe if you look deep enough. So, let's look as deep as a shallow pond can be with 2017's Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. 4 high school kids discover an old video game console and are drawn into the game's jungle setting, literally becoming the adult avatars they choose. What they discover is that you don't just play Jumanji, you must survive it. Once there, they learn that the villainous Van Pelt has stolen a mysterious gem that protects the land of Jumanji. So it's up to our 4 protagonists to take on the roles of their avatars. The experienced adventurer Dr. Smolder Bravestone, map expert Professor Shelley Oberon, literal and metaphorical knockout Ruby Roundhouse, and Franklin Mouse Finbar, and save Jumanji. Functioning as a loose sequel, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, doesn't have much in common with the 1995 film version except a callback to Alan Parrish's time in the game Jumanji, and the villain's name being Van Pelt. The board game has changed to a video game, and as such, the logic went with it. Instead of the mythic weirdness that came with the 95 version where the board game altered reality and released monstrous versions of jungle creatures into our world, we get a loose video game logic, in a general jungle setting. Instead of monstrous creatures, we get realistic animals controlled by magical plot evil, occasionally. The video game setting brings a lot of interesting options the filmmakers could have used, and even a few they did use. It was also generally the best option they had for the movie, since the average person doesn't play much in the way of board games anymore. But overall, it was pretty weak execution. Jumanji stars Karen Gillan as Ruby Roundhouse, aka Martha. Ruby is the badass femme fatale character, and as Martha, her character is the lonely intelligent girl archetype. Kevin Hart as Franklin Mouse Finbar, aka Fridge. Mouse is presented a little more than, no pun intended, a comedic sidekick to the lead Dr. Smolder Bravestone. With an extensive knowledge of the animal kingdom, as Fridge he's presented as the jock, who is at one point best friends with the nerd character archetype. Not much else going on there. Jack Black as Professor Sheldon Shelley Oberon, aka Bethany. Shelley is a bumbling but intelligent cartographer, but mix that character type with Bethany, the self-obsessed teen girl, and you get quite an odd mix that was the main producer of most of the film's comedy. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is Dr. Smolder Bravestone, aka Spencer. The hunky professional adventurer with no weaknesses and abundant good qualities meets the nerd with nothing but fear and self-doubt. The cast is rounded out with other actors like Rhys Darby, Bobby Cannavale, and Nick Jonas. The video game setting is a weak justification to have character personality types clash with physical manifestations of adventure archetypes. While more often than not fun, it is a pretty weak premise to try to push as the main form of comedy throughout the movie. On top of all of that, the characters are set with pretty obvious lessons from their real lives that they need to learn from to grow as characters, but not all of them have these moments. So at the end of our movie, our characters have changed and they're in a different place from where they've started, but for at least 2 of them, it doesn't really make sense as to why they've changed, or why they changed to how they are now. There are a number of other characters who might have loved to have seen more from, but keeping the focus on the main 4 really keeps that from happening. Sadly, that means the villainous Van Pelt doesn't really have any kind of characterization whatsoever. He's even put forth as a rival, possible once friend to Dr. Smolder Bravestone in the game lore, but we don't ever actually learn anything about him. He's just an obstacle to overcome on the way out of the game. Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle was filmed in Honolulu, Hawaii, and it looks gorgeous. The action scenes are well shot, and in a world of Batman vs. Supermans, Jumanji is wonderfully colorful. Mainly green, though. Action scenes are simple but exciting, and the CGI isn't absolutely terrible. The practical monstrous creatures and the cannibal plants are missed, but for the most part the CG creatures blend well with their surroundings and seem like they will hold up over time. Better than the '95 version at least. There isn't much to say about the soundtrack, so I'll just say what we're all thinking. Yes, using Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses was just such an original idea. Well, guess what? They only placed it at the end credits, and past that the only noticeable music was the Jumanji drums, that they actually use more as a stinger for the characters to let them know that shit's about to go down. So past that, I don't remember anything about the soundtrack, so good job? Overall, I can sum up Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle simply by saying, it's not as bad as it could have been. Almost a Tropic Thunder light, even. That said, I had a lot of fun with the movie. Most of the funniest bits were in the trailers, but the movie held back a few gems for the audience. By no means do I expect this Jumanji to become a beloved classic like the first one, but at the same time, I don't think it'll go down as infamous for retroactively ruining the first. The cast, despite the weak premise, are lovable, and each does a great job with their characters. Though, I would like to see Kevin Hart try for more roles that he isn't just Kevin Hart.
Oh no! I'm fucking killing y'all, man! Get fired on these bitches again!
I was ready for something really bad, but it turned out to be a completely inoffensive film. If we're lucky when they release it on home video, maybe we can get a Tropic Thunder-esque commentary track. With that said, Pop Spectrum gives Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle 2.5 pops out of 5. Overall, pretty average. Don't forget to hit that like button, share our videos, and subscribe for more Pop Spectrum videos. And don't forget to head on over to my channel where I talk about more movies. Yay!